The Memories, tale by author Dakota Girl 235 on my blog at wordpress.com. The Memories, a short story, 2-chapter about a girl named Jasmine. Chapter 1, Echoes of Yesterday. The world around her was swirling, spinning, not in chaos, but in the hypnotic rhythm that matched the music flowing through her headphones. She lay back against the worn fabric of the couch, eyes half closed, letting the notes wrap around her like a familiar embrace. A song that had once meant everything. 34 now, she found herself lingering in the spaces between past and the present, between the life she had visioned and the reality that hadn't unfolded. The weight of the years pressed against her chest, not in regret, but in contemplation. A decade ago, she had believed love was inevitable, a force waiting patiently for her to arrival. But time had whispered a different story. Outside, the city pulsed with life, neon reflections rippled on the rain-slickened pavement. Voices carried through the night air, laughter, frustration, whispers of fleeting dreams. And somewhere among them was the version of her who had once danced through these streets, her heart buoyant with the possibility of love and discovery. Was she still the same person? She reached for the journal resting beside her, its cover creased from the years of careful entries. Words had always been her refuge, a place where her thoughts could stretch beyond the confines of reality. The pages held fragments of past selves, noted scribbled from the train rides, confessions made under the moonlight skies, declarations of what she thought she wanted. Tonight, though, she's not right. Tonight she listened. The melody swirled, pulling at something deep inside her. She closed her eyes, now surrendering to its power. Memories drifted through her mind like old film reels, blurred edges and softened hues. The cafe where she had first spoken to him, the touch of his fingers against her own, the way his laughter had felt in the spaces between the words. She had loved. Oh, how she had loved. And yet, here she was, searching for something still unnamed. The song faded into silence, leaving only the hum of the city and the quiet beat of her own heart. Chapter 2, Shadows of Yesterday. The songs played on repeat, its melody stretching into the quiet hum of her apartment. Jasmine sat at the edge of her bed, toes curling, touching the hardwood floors, hands resting in her lap. The past lingered like an old photograph, faded at the edges but still clear enough to hold. She thought of Adrian again, not just the way he kissed her outside the club that night, the way he looked at her, as though she was something worth knowing, worth understanding. It had been years since they had last spoken. No harsh words, no dramatic exits. No harsh words, no dramatic exits, just the slow fading of two people walking in different directions, neither willing to turn back. She sighed, pressing her palms against her knees. It was foolish to keep thinking about him. Time had moved on, and she had moved on, hadn't she? The city stretched before her, window glowing in the shadows of amber, deep blue outside the cars, lined the streets and headlights flashing briefly before disappearing into the night. Somewhere down below, the laughter spilled from the sidewalk cafe, voices blending into the urban sympathy. She had built a life here, an apartment filled with books and coffee-stained journals, a job that kept her steady friends who understood the pieces of her had yet to reconcile. And yet some nights when music tugged at a forgotten memories she felt the weight of everything she had lost. She stood shaking for the thought. Her voice vibrated on the nightstand, an old friend's name flashing across the screen. She hesitated, then answered. Jazz, the voice was warm, familiar. Come out tonight. Jasmine glanced at the clock. Midnight? It's late, but not impossible. Where? She asked. The old club her friend asked, said, amusement lacing their tone. For old time's sake? She laughed, more out of a nostalgic than agreement. The old club, the place where once upon a time she had lost herself in music and dancing, where possibilities had felt endless. Rajan had once been more than just a memory. She bit her lip. All right, she said, why not?
Hello, how are you? Yes, I would like to leave you guys with the thing, which is it's Friday, and this recording is meant for purposes of entertainment. I really hope you appreciate the story, the memories, as much as I did reading it out to you. You can find it on my blog, as I mentioned, and yeah, have a good day.